Today my goal is to push the record button and not talk to the camera over and over and over for 2.5 hours. Hello beautiful people, my name is Athol, let's jump into it, and today I'm going to talk about goals. What are the goals that you should be working towards? And this is a follow-up to the last 2 days where I talked about whether or not you should be focusing on outcomes, which is another word for goals, or whether you should be focusing on right actions. And I've been arguing if you focus on the right actions, you're going to get yourself in a place where you're consistently doing the things you want to do, and you're going to be generally happier, healthier, more successful, and your life is going to go better. So here is the sort of golden rule on what goals you should have. Your goal should always be that you're going to focus on getting yourself to a place where you're going to get to do the actions you want to do on a more consistent basis. Your goal should be to get you in a place where you get to do the actions you want to do on a more consistent basis. Because just think of it the flip side. If you're getting yourself in a place where you're not getting to do the actions you want to do, it means you're not doing what you want to do. You're going to end up sad, depressed, frustrated, miserable, and generally cranky and grumpy to be around. Whereas if you're getting yourself in a place where you're doing the actions you want to do consistently, you're always going to be happier. One way that people sort of screw this up is that instead of focusing on the actions they want to do, which is sort of more internal, they focus on an external success marker. They focus on things like, I want to make $1 million. I want to earn a particular degree. I want to drive a certain car. I want to live in a particular house. I want to be in a relationship with this type of person. I want this, that, and the other. And they're usually fairly tangible things that you can point to and identify. And many of these things are generally awesome, or at least awesome according to the salesman of the things that you're going after. But most people find that they just sort of get dangled in front of them as a nice piece of cheese that motivates them to do a whole bunch of stuff just to get to that success marker. And then when they reach that success marker, what they usually find is that they feel amazing for 24 to 48 hours. And then it's just back to life as usual, except now they don't have a goal to work towards, and there's sort of a letdown. And then they pick another success marker and work towards that. And I guess that's sort of okay in a sense. But it's the thing of like, you want to make $1 million. What is it that you want to do with the $1 million that you're going to be enjoying? You want to have a bigger house. What is it that you're going to get to do now with the bigger house that you couldn't do with the smaller house? What is it that you want to do with the supercar that you weren't getting able to do with the normal car? What is that you want to do with this particular degree that you couldn't do without that particular degree? So you really have to make sure that your goals are tied to the actions you want to end up doing. The other thing is that a lot of people don't often pick goals that are necessarily perfectly aligned with their true self, what it is they actually truly want to do. And in some cases, this is sort of dark and nefarious in that they are ending up doing illegal things or things that they feel are against their own particular moral principles, or they just feel really awkward and uncomfortable doing. And this happens in a minority of cases, but most people generally just avoid that sort of icky stuff. The more common one is that instead of focusing on your goals, what you want to do, you're somehow adopting somebody else's goals, and you're somehow living the life that somebody else wanted to lead or wanted to advise you to lead. They wanted you to be a certain thing. You were told a certain thing to do that. But it's not really aligned with your true self. It can be close, but it's always going to grate and sort of chafe a bit, and you're never going to be fully happy working towards goals, working towards actions that you're going to keep doing on a consistent basis if you just don't want to do them. I mean, take a really classic example. If you were told from birth that you were going to grow up and be a lawyer and you were going to join the family law firm. And that was all there was to it. That was just the message, the message, the message. Well, okay, so you grow up and you go to college and you get your law degree and you start working in a law firm. But you hate it. You actually really wanted to do medicine or teaching or be a vet. So sure, you can do the law thing, but it's not fully aligned with your true self. It always grates and chafes a bit because it was somebody else's goal, not yours. The other possible way you can stumble is you pick a really negative goal. And this is really common too when people are in difficult situations. Your goal is something like, I'm not going to be broke. I'm not going to be homeless. I'm not going to be this or that or the other. I'm not going to be unfit. And it works to an extent, but it's usually a fairly, sort of quietly negative, self-sabotaging goal. It can only really get you halfway. It can only really get you halfway to a place where you're using negative emotions and dark thoughts, anger, whatever it is, to try and propel yourself forward. It can get it started, but it will only ever get you halfway. At some point, they need to be positive goals where you're focusing on getting yourself to a place where you're doing the things you want to do, doing the actions you want to do, rather than focusing exclusively on not doing the actions you don't want to do. So like I say, your goal should be get you to a place where you do the things you want to do. And that's a harder thing to really think up than it first appears. Anyway, that's about it for today. I don't want to talk about myself too much in this one. Maybe I'll talk a little more yet tomorrow. Anyway, that is it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good internet stuff, and I will talk to you soon.